I entered the Air Corps in December of '43. My goal was to become a flying officer. The cadet program was oversubscribed, so they made available to me to be either a gunner, a mechanic in the Air Corps, or a radio operator, and I chose radio operators. And in December of '44, I was flying overseas to Burma and India. The Japanese were still occupying Burma in January of '45 when I got there. So yeah, the war lasted another 6-7 months after that. When I was stationed at a small airport on the Bay of Bengal called Ramkapalong. One night then on March the 25th, 1945, a single Japanese Zero came in and bombed our small air base, and there was casualties. Our houseboy, we called him, well, he's a 12-year-old Burmese boy, and he was killed. That's 75 years ago since I learned the Morse code, and I can still, for example, my last name Larson, da-da-da-dit, da-da, da-da-dit, dit-a-dit, dit, da-dit. And it became a second language to us. So this device here is, we call it a bug. It's a sending key. Many times when you see sending keys on the TV or whatever, they have an up and down button. This is made for high speed, so you hold it over and the longer you hold it over, the more dots you get. In my case, I learned to take International Morse code up to 30 words a minute, which is quite fast.
I deem this reply a full acceptance of the Potsdam Declaration, which specifies the unconditional surrender of Japan.
After the war was over, and when I got back into the States and was discharged, I still was only 20 and a half years old, not of legal age to vote or to buy a bottle of beer. Our uncles, the Briscoe brothers, had a band. They performed, or they went in the 1920s and the 30s. And so as kids, we would go with our parents to dances, and we'd hear them playing, and music just got ingrained into us at an early age. This is the horn my dad bought for me when I was a junior in high school. It looks tough now, but it saw a lot of playing. I played in the band, high school band, for, I suppose, about a year before graduation. My twin brother, Chester, played alto sax. We formed a 5-piece dance band. Our first dance job would have been in 1943 in the Arcade Ballroom in Foxhole, Minnesota, which is just west of Fergus Falls. And I can remember that we made $10 apiece, which was quite fantastic at that time. Playing for dances was an enjoyable time. The dance halls back in those days, I had benches on the sides. The gals would be sitting on one side and the guys on the other side, and I guess you'd eyeball around and decide who you wanted to dance with. And dancing was a major source of entertainment back in those days. This is a picture of my wife and I. Her name was Ruth Bowe. She was from Ashby, Minnesota. And yeah, she was sitting across the dance floor on the gal side, and that's how we met. One Saturday night, I think it was, we had a 6-piece dance job in Morris at the Armory. The drum set was already set up when we arrived at the Armory in the early evening. But our drummer never showed, so we called his house, and his wife said, well, I guess he won't be coming. had too many beers with his buddies this afternoon, so he's sound asleep. So we played a couple of sets, and I decided that we needed a drummer in rhythm more than we needed four horns up front. So I went back on the drums and I started playing. So I played a set or two, and Walt started, looked over at me and said, "I don't have to put up with this crap." So he picked up his sax, put it in the case, and walked off the stage and went home. So Walt and I had many good laughs over that in later years. And when I told his son Del about it, he said, "Yeah, that sounds like Dad." So we had good times. Well, the jacket that I have on, I was given when I was playing with the Mickey Carruth band out of Benson. Well, I played with many bands over the years, but this is the only time that we had a uniform like this, so we kind of dolled it up a little bit. I was asked to play taps at military funerals back in the, maybe early 90s. Pat Lundberg, who had been the regular tap player in town, said, "It's time for me to hang it up." He was probably 15, 20 years older than I was. So I took over in 1996, and I've kept a record of all the taps that I've played for. I have played at 213 military funerals, mostly in the Madison area. I would guess that over half of these people are people that I knew or friends. And it gets to be a little difficult, but I'm really honored to do that. I guess I feel really blessed to have an appreciation for music. I often think of how empty life must be for people that don't have any sense or appreciation for music. I've been playing music since 1942, so what is that, 70 years? From 1947 to 2001, when I hung it up for good. I have a record of 1,811 engagements. In addition to that, I played in the Madison Town Band, so maybe a couple hundred engagements with the town band. And then, of course, there's that 213 taps at military funerals. So now I'm up to 2,300, 2,400 times I've pulled my horn out of the case. So for an amateur, poor sight reader, I guess I made real good use of my horn. Music has given me a full life, a good life.
Postcards is made possible by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund and the citizens of Minnesota. Additional support provided by Margaret A. Cargill Philanthropies, Mark and Margaret Yakel-Julien on behalf of Shalom Hill Farms, a retreat and conference center in a prairie setting near Windham, Minnesota. On the web at shalomhillfarm.org. Alexandria, Minnesota, a year-round destination with hundreds of lakes, trails, and attractions for memorable vacations and events. More information at explorealex.com. The Lake Region Arts Council's Arts Calendar, an arts and cultural heritage-funded digital calendar showcasing upcoming art events and opportunities for artists in West Central Minnesota. On the web at lrac4calendar.org. Playing today's new music plus your favorite hits, 96.7 Cram. Online at 967cram.com.